All right, peace and blessings, everybody. This is BroYosef. I'm back with another video. In this video here, we're going to talk about the metaphysics of sex or the science of sex. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. But, this is a very important topic. And, if you're on a spiritual path, this is something that you really need to understand and you need to really know about. You need to really understand how this thing works. For the most part, everybody know about sex. Even these young kids today, 10, 11, 12, believe it or not, are engaging in sexual activities, And it's like I heard somebody say before, like these young kids today will teach you something. So, sex is everywhere. It's all in our culture. It's everywhere. It's on TV, it's in books. And, is today sex is looked at as something that is considered to be, you know, uh, almost something people look down on it to a degree. Everybody do it, but from a certain perspective, people look down on it, and they call people hoes and sluts and stuff like that, and sex gets a bad rap. But most importantly, sex is not really understood from a spiritual perspective because sex is spiritual, and it's not really understood in the way that it should be. Um, Back in the ancient times, you was actually taught how to have sex, right? So let's just take back in ancient Samaria or ancient Egypt, right? You will be put through let's just say ancient Egypt, right? Because Egypt was like where everything was pretty much mastered at, right? So people was like really living a spiritual life in Egypt for the most part, mostly everybody. So from that perspective, back in Egypt, before you got with a woman, you already know what to do, right? You was trained and taught how to engage in sexual activities with a woman the correct way. And the same thing with women. Women were taught what to expect and how to use their sexual energy, right? Back in the ancient times. So you didn't go into this blindly. Today, as kids or as young adults, people just go into it. Sometimes, they go into it out of ignorance, for the most part. To a degree, everybody goes into it out of ignorance because really our parents don't really want us to really know what sex is, until we get older. And then we experience it, right? You just experience it and you're not even ready. You hear things about it, you think you know what you're doing, but everybody remember their first time, you barely knew what you was doing, especially as men. We was like, I think this goes here and that, you didn't really know what you was doing. So, with that being said, I want to talk a little bit today about what sex really is. And like I said, everybody knows about what sex is, but I want to talk about it from a spiritual perspective and really help you guys understand, as sex on a deeper level, what's really going on and what's happening, right? First thing you guys need to understand is that sex is a ritual, right? So you're not just getting pleasure. You're not just doing something to get pleasure. On a lower level, you can think about it like that. But on a higher level, you need to understand that sex is a ritual, right? And in that ritual, it becomes a contract on a spiritual level. Sex is also a contract, right? So when you engage in sex, you're performing a ritual, whether you realize it or not. And the problem is, a lot of us don't perform the ritual the correct way, right? We just jump into it. We jump into bed, or we just do it because we're frustrated. We need sex, or we feeling good. We really like this person, and we need sex, and but we're not approaching it the right way, right? And there's also consequences of sex with the wrong people, right? So every time you have sex with somebody, you're also creating a contract, right? That's something else that you guys need to understand. You're actually creating a contract every time you have sex with a person. A contract is being created in the spiritual world. This is why when you got married, let's say back in Africa, right? You went and got married, you know, that woman wasn't really your wife until you came from behind the big tent, or behind from inside the tent, and they came out with a cloth and showed the cloth was bleeding or whatever, and the hymen was broken because of the semen and the sperm mixed together and created that sacred marriage, right? And now that was your real wife on a spiritual level, right? So to a degree, some of y'all need to understand, and I know some people probably gonna disagree with this video, but for those who do the research deep enough will know that what I'm saying is true. For those who understand, every time you sleep with a person, you have sex with them, you create a spiritual cord to this person, a connection to this person, which is like a contract, right? And it takes between 5 to 7 years to really break these cords, and for these cords to get thinner and wither away once you guys stop feeding each other this energy, right? That can happen. Some marriages say the fire died. It's because nobody's feeding each other the energy. And we're not just talking about sex. So when you totally break up with somebody and you're not feeding them that energy anymore, maybe you're sending a couple thoughts to them, they're sending some thoughts to you. You can still feed through that cord is still being fed. But when you've totally cut a person off, it takes between 5 to 7 years to really break that energy. And I know some people don't believe that, but that's okay. I'm just telling y'all, I'm here to give information, right? And you can do what you want to do with information, but I'm telling y'all the truth, man. I'm telling y'all the truth. So you guys need to understand, when you're having sex with people, right, especially the wrong person, you want to be careful because you're creating a contract, right? Fellas, this girl may be pretty, but she about to, she got plans to, like Cardi B said, she's, it's like Cardi B said, she used to break in dudes' houses, or steal from them after she had sex with them, that's funny. That's funny, man. She said she used to, be in dudes' houses and steal from them after she had sex with them. That's funny, That's what you get for having sex with the wrong person. So, fellas, you got to be careful. Same thing with the ladies. This dude ain't no good and he got other intentions. Next thing you know, he driving your car, taking your money, and he just sucking you dry, sucking your energy dry. And you gave it up to this dude and he wasn't no good, So, with that being said, you got to keep all these things in mind before you engage in sexual activity with this person, because you don't want to engage. It's a sacred thing. You don't want to engage into that with the wrong person. And I know sometimes people get caught up in the heat of the moment. Everybody's guilty of that. But still, if you know better, you got to do better. If you're more mature spiritually, you got to do better. If you're spiritual, you got to make better choices about who you're having sex with, because you can attach the wrong cords to you, and you don't want these type of things attached to you. You want to be very careful. So, now if you do sex the right way, which is basically getting the energy set before you have sex with a person, right? Some people call that foreplay, right? But there's different ways you can get to set the energy before you have sex, right? And if you do this the right way, if your desire is to have children, if you want to have a special type of child, you can have a child on a higher level, because the child will be born because the parents are having sex and they have all 7 of their chakras open and activated, right? So maybe you should see a chakra worker before you have sex. If you want to have a child, make sure all your chakras are aligned and activated and open. Once that happens and you engage in sexual activity, you can birth and project a child down here from a higher dimension. The child will be born on a higher level of consciousness, right? Some children are born on a lower level. Usually in this world today, most children are born on a red or the first or second chakra, right? And people wonder, this child come out, they bad, they don't listen, they're this, they're that. The child was born on a lower chakra level, and also there could be health complications that can come from a child being born on a lower chakra level, right? And that's just the truth. So before you engage in sex with somebody, if your desire to have children, make sure your chakras are lined up. Get this ritual really right. Really do the ritual, right? I'm gonna explain more about what the sexual ritual is, or why sex is a ritual. I'm gonna explain that in a second. So really get involved in what you're doing if you really want to bring down a child, a higher life form. If you want to bring out a child from with a higher level of a soul down here, really go through the stages of getting yourself prepared. By getting your energy body set when you have sex, right? That's very important. So you can do that. You can have sex and have a child on a lower level or a higher level. Okay, so sex should be approached with intention. That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. When you're going to have sex with somebody, it should be approached with intention. Problem is, you can be spiritual and approach it with a certain intention, and you can still get something out of it, right? You can still do magic on a person while you're having sex with them, and they don't even know. But if both of y'all can be on one accord and have a whole idea about what y'all want out of sex, or the sexual experience, then it's very, very powerful. You can do some incredible things, right? Because in the universe, you have love is the most powerful. Love is the most powerful energy in the whole universe, right? And then under love, you have sex, the sex force, because you can take the sex force and merge it together and experience what it's like to be in love for a moment. You can experience that by making, you can create love. You can, that's why people say, let's make love, right? Everybody don't make love. People think they make love, right? But it's not hard for people to make love. You just both got to really be in love at that moment. Now, there are certain levels of passion that you can achieve, which is right below that. People get into certain levels of passion to the point where, um, the sex is out of this world, and there's so much passion involved, right? Passion is a very powerful energy you want to raise up to if you're having sex to really manifest what you want to manifest, whether it's money, whether it's more power, whatever it is. You can do that with sex. You can use sex as magic, right? But if you can do it under love, and both of y'all in love, y'all both love each other, and there's tears flowing, and anybody that really made love to understand what that's about, it's really deep, and you made a really deep bond with this person. It's not just bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, and the sex was good from that perspective, right? Like he hit every corner, her thing was good. Yeah, that's cool, and that's good. That satisfies people, right? But what we talking about is satisfying the soul to the point where the soul is experiencing the sexual. The soul experiences everything. But when you're having sex with a person and you're making love, literally your soul is involved. The soul is getting involved with this person while you're having sex with them. So there's a phrase that that goes, animals mate, humans have sex, and gods make love, right? I always thought that was very interesting, because on a certain level that's true, because once your soul gets involved in a sexual act, it goes very, very, very deep. And for those who make love, they know what I'm talking about. It's unexplainable, right? Not just the feeling you get, or not just the feeling you get, or the pleasure you get from sex, but it's deeper than that, right? There's a deeper connection with this person once you have sex, right? And some people think they know what I'm saying, but they don't really understand. Once you've made love, you'll totally understand. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who watch this video have made love, and they know what I'm talking about, right? So you can just have sex with a person and get pleasure and get satisfied that way, right? Or you can get satisfied, get pleasure, and get what you want from the universe. Get what you want from a higher level because of how you approach the sex, right? So to talk about how sex can be a ritual, let me drop it like this. Let me say this. And some of y'all might already know this, right? Anybody who studied tantric sex and studied sexual rituals and stuff like that, y'all, some of y'all know this, but this is for people who getting into spirituality. You want to know more about, sex, and who you should be having sex with, and why is what BroYosef saying true? Why is sex really a ritual? So first thing you guys need to understand is that the penis is a wand. Okay? So when you're having sex with a person, you need to understand that you're a male, right? Who's a dominant figure. He represents the fire, right? A male's, his penis is the wand, the magic wand, right? And it can be used as such, right? It can be used as such. So for those who know who work with wands, right? And there's many ways to work with wands, but you can literally you can write spells with the wand, right? You can write spells in the air. You can draw symbols in the air with your wand to do different things, to ward things off, right? You can be invoking a spell, and you can be using your wand to pull things to you, to push things away, right? Or to increase the energy of your magic. So the wand can be used to increase the energy of the magic by how you use it, right? So when a man is having sex with a woman, it's not about in and out, in and out, in and out. That's really going to raise up their spiritual energy. When a man is having sex with a woman, right, and they talk about this in tantric sex, for those who really study the deeper aspects of tantric sex, you should be making geometric shapes inside the woman, right? It should not be in and out, in and out, in and out. And I know some man's like, man, he can't tell me nothing, and I'm not trying to tell you nothing. I'm just trying to get you to think a little deeper, because some men naturally do this. Some people already are sexual masters by nature. They come down here, they just know what to do because they've done it in the past lives, right? So as soon as they engage in that act and that experience, they're just really good at it than other people, better than other people. But when you understand what sex is, which is a ritual, then you understand what every aspect of what you're doing and all your parts, how they play a role in the sexual act. So a man, your penis is a wand. You need to understand that. And when you're inside the woman, uh, when you got your stroke game going, fellas, you need to use your imagination. Just like when you're using a wand in the real world, right? I don't got my wand up here with me, but just like when you're using a wand in the real world, you're trying to project something. And usually, eventually, a man projects his semen. But when you can build that semen up and charge that semen up, which I'm going to talk about too, and you can project it in a certain way, which is the energy coming out of the wand, right? When a man ejaculates, the energy that comes out of his penis is the energy coming out of the magic wand. And you can actually, before it comes out of the magic wand, you can actually circulate that energy and circulate that through your body. So when you ejaculate, the energy is more powerful and more potent. You can use it for certain things, right? So your penis is a wand. So when you're inside of a woman, it should not just be in and out. It should be you making geometric shapes, right? Because a woman, which I'm going to talk about next, her vagina can be looked at as a cauldron, right? So those who know about magic, they know the stuff I'm talking about. Those who know what a cauldron is, right? Which is a black hole, a black pot. A woman's vagina is also a black hole. Her vagina is also a gateway to another dimension, right? It's dark. It's the triple darkness. It's a gateway to another dimension. It's really a gateway to the spirit world. That's what it is. So when you understand her vagina is a gateway to the spirit world, and you can draw symbols in the air with your magic wand and unlock energy in the vicinity, right? By using your magic wand, you can also unlock energy in a woman by when you stroking, you're not going in and out, but you're making geometric shapes, whether it's stars or hexagrams or whatever. Try it, fellas. Try it. Y'all thank me later. But you can do that. You can make geometric shapes. And the woman, her energy body will notice immediately. So you're using your mind, you're making geometric shapes inside of the woman, you're starting to do magic, right? Now, so the penis is the wand, the vagina is the cauldron. You can also call it the chalice, right? They call it the chalice or the cup, right? And on some altars, for those who know about heavy altar work, they know what I'm talking about, right? So you got the cup, you got the chalice, or the cauldron, right? And then you have the magic wand or the sword, right? The penis can also be considered the sword or the magic wand. And the bed is considered the altar, right? So you're doing the magic on the altar. So your bed is literally considered the altar where you're doing the spiritual work at. So you're doing this work with the wand and the cauldron and the energy's flowing on top of the altar. So when you think of your bedroom as a magical space, right, then you're going to set your bedroom up for the ritual of sex. Now, don't get me wrong, every time you having sex with your partner or whoever you with, you don't always have to do this, right? But when you're trying to get something from the universe or increase energy or do something for y'all to evolve yourself, because sex can be used to evolve you too. That's a whole nother video. Well, I'm gonna drop some information here on that. But when you start understanding it and using it to evolve you, then you will start setting your room up, or already have your room set up as a spiritual sanctuary, a sexual spiritual sanctuary, which was very well known back in ancient days. They had places where you can literally go to certain gurus who were sex masters, and they would basically, whether you was male or female, you can go in these temples and get healed through sex. Okay, that's a fact. These tantric masters that lived in these mountains, in these caves, in these temples, you can have sex with them and literally get healed from different types of diseases, get your chakras aligned, you know what I'm saying? Straighten your whole life out, by going into the. So, if that was still around today, brothers and sisters would be spending a check, to go into these temples and get their whole life situated. You know what I'm saying? Brother Yusuf probably would have been one of them back in the day, So, but this is something that was really happening back in the day, right? And sometimes they can use that energy and offer it up as a sacrifice to the gods, depending on what the energy they was using. So if your bed is an altar, your penis is a wand, your vagina is a chalice or a cup or a cauldron, then why don't you set your whole room up as a spiritual altar, right? You need to have candles. You need to have the four elements in there. Now, in this situation, I always tell people don't put crystals on the altar, but you can put crystals in your room, right? So what's a good crystal to have in your room if you're doing sex magic, or you're making love, or you're having sex? Well, rose quartz is the best. Rose quartz, quartz crystals also, right? You can use these type of crystals to engage in sexual activity. So you can have these set up around your room, right? You have the pink or the red um, candles set up too, which invokes energy, right? You may have certain herbs set up in your room, right? Like when you sprinkle rose petals over the bed, that's all rituals. That's an altar. The bed is an altar. So if you're in a room and you got the door closed, why not set that whole room up as a spiritual altar and ward it off? Take some sea salt and put it in the four corners before you have sex. Block the mirrors out, right? I'm not big against blocking mirrors. It's not a big deal to BroYosef. But when you having sex, you should never have sex in front of a mirror. Because astral entities are literally looking at that energy. And whenever you have sex, they're actually looking at you through the mirror. That's a fact. And sometimes they'll even absorb some of that energy as you through the mirror. They'll try to become you in the mirror. And I've known people that actually said they was having sex and they saw their body move in different ways while they was having sex. Because these astral entities like succubus and incubus and other astral entities they're wanting to suck up that energy. So if you're having sex and you don't do nothing with the orgasm or anything like that, these entities will come around. They will literally suck up that energy unless you have that energy, your room warded off. So how do you ward off your room? You set it up like an altar, and you put up. You can put sea salt in the four corners of your house, right? You can put up different things on the outside of your door of your bedroom to stop things from coming in. You can take sea salt and put it on the front door, on the door of your bedroom to stop them from coming into the room. And you can ward that off and then put the rose petals out there. Some people put lavender, put the rose quartz and the quartz crystals, and the candles are set up, and then the energy is flowing now. And then sometimes you ain't even gotta do foreplay. The energy's already set up. Once a person, anybody that, for all my adults out there that's watching this, hopefully, teenagers watching this, but for the adults, you know what it's like when I'm saying when you walk in a room and the room is already set, you immediately get turned on. The candles is already lit. The crystals is down there. The music is playing, which is also a part of the ritual, right? Some people play tribal music in the background, drumming music to get the energy for the altar going. But then when you making love or you having sex, why not? They play the love music, right? So you got the love music playing. You got the roses down. You got the candles lit. Sometimes people bring fruit into the bedroom or whatever. All this is ritual to get the energy raised up. So if you walk into a room and you see that, you already gonna be turned on. You already gonna be turned on. The passion is already building up. The kundalini is rising already. So people should make that more of a practice, right? And we know how it is. Sometimes we got things going on. You can't do that every day, right? Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, quickie, whatever. You gotta get it done, right? But if you can, if you're spiritual and you're made of spiritual, take time to make it a ritual. Have fun. It's gonna keep the spark going in a relationship. It's gonna keep the fire rose up, right? Do these things, right? Do these things. It's very important. So you're doing all this. You got the wand, the cauldron, the bed is the altar. You got the four elements in your room. You got some magic happening, right? You got some magic happening. So you want to protect your sacred space. And now another thing you can do is you can put spiritual items, in the room with you. So if you got like gemstones or rings or bracelets that you use that you look at as spiritual, you can put these in a room with you. All you gotta do is put them in a room with you. And you can charge these things. You can use your sexual energy to charge it. Now, how do you do that? At the point of orgasm, you can have the woman hold it, or you and the woman can both hold it. And imagine energy, imagine white light going through your hands at the point of her orgasm. Imagine white light going through her hands and your hands and into the thing that you're holding. It could be a necklace, it could be a crystal. Y'all both hold on to it and push that energy into that thing, right? You can actually supercharge your crystals that way. Supercharge your necklaces through sex, right? You can do that. You can do that. You can also take your sexual force and lock it into a crystal. So you can literally have sex at the point of orgasm for a man or a woman, and we're gonna talk about men in a second. You can at the point of orgasm, you can say a word and imagine the energy going through your hands. Remember, energy goes where energy goes where intention flows. So imagine the energy going into the crystal as you hold it at the point of orgasm, and you will literally put the energy of the orgasm into a crystal. Then, if you're tired at work one day, if you're sleepy, I know because I've done this. You're sleepy, you can literally rub that crystal and say the word that you use to put it in there. So you might say hocus pocus, right? While you in the middle of an orgasm, you can say the word hocus pocus and put that in there. That's the word that's going to unlock and lock the crystal. As soon as you touch that crystal and rub it and say hocus pocus again, the energy will come out of the crystal and come into you. I'm not saying you're going to start having an orgasm at work, right? I'm saying you're going to start having the energy, and it's going to give you a burst of energy. Try it. You can do that. You can do that. So these are some things you can use. Now, men, we need to understand that every time you ejaculate, you just kill yourself, right? Every time you ejaculate, you kill yourself. And what do I mean by that? Well, every time a man ejaculates, he pulls from all his vital organs just to push out that one, get off that one time. He trying to bust one time, and if he pulls from literally his brain, his heart, his liver, his kidneys, his spleen, his lungs, he pulls from all his vital organs just to give his sperm life. So every time you bust one off, fellas, you actually killing yourself, man. You draining your life force. It's important to understand that. A woman is more dominant in her sexual activity. A lot of y'all know this already because she can have orgasm, right? So in the bedroom, she's always going to be dominant. Some men, at the most go 30 minutes, right? Some men go, believe it or not, 2-3 minutes. They out for the count. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And we got to work on that, fellas. So I want to tell y'all something y'all can do to make y'all last longer. And what you can do is you can hold, if you pay attention to your breath, right? If a man is having sex with a woman and he feel like he's about to get off, you know what? There's Tantric books, and I got a lot of them, but I don't got none in front of me. Because all Tantric books say the same thing. So I want y'all to just buy y'all a good book on Tantric magic. And what it's going to do is going to teach you guys how to use your breath to actually pull your semen. So it doesn't go out, it goes in, right? And as it go in, you ejaculate. So you don't ejaculate out. You ejaculate and you pull your semen up your spine, and your pineal gland, is your clitoris. Okay? So a man, your pineal gland is up here. Once you can get the semen to circulate, right? And they talk about that in who book? Mantak Chia. I'm telling y'all, a hidden master. I keep talking about his books in all my videos. Get the Mantak Chia books, and he'll teach you the whole science behind this. Fusion of the 5 elements. That Pacific book. Get the book Fusion of the 5 Elements with Mantak Chia. He talks about circulating the energy with your consciousness, but also using your semen, right? And as you circulate that semen in your body up and down your spine, what happens is you charge the semen. The semen is getting charged up. And then when you do ejaculate, the semen is more powerful. You can use that semen for spells. You can use that semen to give birth to a more powerful child, a more healthier child, right? So some men ejaculate on a weak level, and the child can come out sick. The child can come out with different things. And it ain't just the man's fault, it's the man and woman's fault for having sex on such a lower chakra level. So this is why it's not good to have sex when you high, right? It's not good to have sex when you're drunk. And a lot of babies get born through, they parents drinking, and boom. Some men, they can't even get turned on unless they get a shot of Henny or something like that, And we got to learn, fellas, how to get turned on in different ways without getting that shot of Henny. It's cool, but if you're trying to make children, don't do it. Don't do it, because you're pulling your chakra level down when you're actually intoxicated, right? And you're having sex. I know some fellas say, yeah, but that Henny had me performing, brother. I'll be going on that Henny. I hear you, bro. But when you're trying to have children, you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that. And also, for men, we sometimes lose testosterone. So I want to tell you guys, you want to get this thing called Tungkat Ali, right? Tungkat Ali. It's a very powerful herb that will raise your testosterone levels. Okay, and you can take the Tongkat, spelled Tongkat space Ali, Ali. Don't keep asking me how to spell it, y'all, because I just spelled it. I just spelled it for y'all. But fellas, get that. That's good for testosterone. Tongkat Ali. If you don't know what it is, just say what I just said on the Google. Look for Tongkat Ali. It's a powerful herb and will raise your levels, your testosterone levels. Okay, very powerful. So yeah, that's what sex is in a nutshell. I hope this video really helped y'all understand and helped y'all get to, helped y'all understand what y'all doing during sex, right? Because all this is important. Okay, so I just want to get on here, do this video, drop the science on that. Y'all know I'm just giving y'all beginning. Eventually down the line, we're gonna go deeper into stuff. But I just want to do this for y'all and break this down to y'all. All right. So until next time, family, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.